Our office in the Civil Rights Division conducted a wide-ranging, detailed investigation of the Newark Police Department. During that investigation, we met and spoke with many members of the force at every level. We reviewed thousands of reports, department policies and training records, and internal affairs files. Members of the team rode with patrol officers to see firsthand how they do their jobs. The men and women who wear the uniform of the Newark Police Department bring enormous dedication, integrity, and pride to their jobs every day. They joined the force because they have the courage and the passion to keep their community and its residents safe, and they do that work at great personal sacrifice and great risk. At the same time, we also found an organization that is challenged in fundamental ways and is engaged in a pattern and practice of unconstitutional policing in a broad range of areas. And it is also clear that the police department's relationship with the people of the city has suffered dramatically from the combination of those practices. Community trust has deteriorated, and that in turn has compromised the effectiveness of the police department. Today, we are taking a major step toward breaking that cycle. One significant problem is that far too many police reports have failed to describe a constitutionally adequate reason for stops of people on the street. Some of this stems from a lack of clarity in the police department's policies and training, which has promoted a view that living or simply being in a high-crime area is, in and of itself, criminally suspicious. We also found that this practice had a particularly acute impact on African Americans. And some of the people who've been stopped and arrested were lawfully objecting to police action or simply behaving in a way that officers perceived as disrespectful. The consent decree deals directly with these issues. It requires better training and updated policies so that officers understand when they are permitted to stop, search, and arrest, and when they are not. The decree requires that officers perform their duties without bias and fully respectful of the rights of the community members to say what they think and comment on what they see. The decree also addresses in great detail our finding that the police department had a pattern of using excessive force. Use of force policies will be revised. Officers will receive enhanced guidance and training on how and when to use force, and reporting and supervisory review will be substantially more rigorous. The agreement requires a more substantial role for civilian oversight so that the community has more insight into how the department does its work. And the department's own internal affairs function, which has suffered from lack of training, insufficient resources, and incomplete and inadequate investigations, will be completely retooled. Finally, the decree provides that all of these reforms and changes will take place under the watch of an independent, court-appointed monitor. In fact, the decree will end only after the monitor and a federal judge are satisfied that the police department has demonstrated sustained and substantial compliance with its terms. The parties, my office, the Civil Rights Division, the city, and the police department have jointly recommended that the court appoint Peter Harvey, who is a very highly regarded partner at the law firm of Patterson Belknap. As many of you know, Mr. Harvey is a longtime New Jersey resident and a former Attorney General and First Assistant Attorney General of this state, who has an extraordinary reputation in the legal and law enforcement communities. In fact, during the time that Mr. Harvey held those positions with the state, he was heavily involved in the implementation of the consent decree between the Department of Justice and the state police regarding racial profiling. We are confident that Mr. Harvey's experience and the high regard with which he is held by the court make him exactly the right choice for this assignment.